It's your dude, James, coming back to you with a new episode. Oh, I hope everybody's week is going well. I hope their Sunday is restful and relaxing. Um, yes, and welcome back. To anybody that's new, my name is James. I am an avid crafter living in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and this is my YouTube channel where I discuss all crafty things, projects, things that are going on in my life. And so, welcome. We are here. This is going to be a bit of an experiment for an episode. Normally, when I have recorded my episodes in the past, typically it is shot all at one time. Then I go back and do very light editing. Do not expect copious show notes. At most, you might get, a pattern name and a designer across the screen, maybe a website, that kind of thing. But most of the time, it's done all at once. And so I have this week recorded some smaller episodes that my goal is to put them all together and make one episode, and you can kind of see my progress throughout the week. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know how editing is going to go. We might never do this again. This might be the new standard. Who knows? Welcome to the podcast. So that is my goal for this episode. So you will see my progress throughout the week, and at the end of the video, I'll show my current works in progress and my FOs that I finished, that kind of thing. So I'm going to take you with me. But one of the things I did want to do, as I'm coming back, I want to thank everybody for sticking with me or for reaching out for the first time. And I wanted to do a bit of a giveaway. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask folks, completely optional, if you just want to comment something down below, if you could describe how your current year has been, because it's been a while since I've been here. Feel free to comment. It could be a one-word comment. It could be anything. But comment how your year has gone. You could describe that in crafting or anything else you want, and you'll be entered to win. I'm only going to enter each person once. But yeah, the prize, we are going to be giving away one of these Sandy bags. And Sandy is a lovely person. She's just amazing. And she made me some of these project bags. They're just wonderful. I never gave them away. And so I'm coming back and doing that now. Here's the inside. Oh my God, I love it. I use one or two of these for my own personal use. Not gonna lie, I totally do. And I just love it. It's such high quality. Sandy is an amazing craft woman. And she made this all herself. She sewed this all. I don't know all the technical terms, but it's got lots of pockets, pocket, zipper with another pocket. The front actually is a pocket here. And it's the perfect size. So it's nice. You can fit several projects or maybe one sweater or blanket project in here. And it's just amazing. You can really tell the love and the care Sandy put into this. And the fabric is great. This fabric is time to unwind, to knit or not to knit. There is no question. Just some great, great crafting fabric. I love it. And so feel free to enter that down below, and I will let you know next episode who's won and how to get in contact with you all. But this is wonderful. It's so good. I decided to give one away. So that's what we'll be doing. We're about to transition into all the other videos. I hope the transitions go well. If it's not, hey, you're here for the first episode. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, enjoy the journey, and I'll see you back here at the end. Bye. Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope your day is going phenomenal. It's going well. As you've probably heard in my intro clip, this is one of my first little smaller clips I'm trying to do throughout the week, just as a new style. So as I said in my last episode, if you didn't catch that, I am trying to do a little bit more of a recap on what's happened this past year, catch y'all up on a few things. And what I wanted to talk about today is I wanted to go through a little bit of my experience with Sock Madness 2024. Spoiler alert, it was amazing. I loved it. We should all do it. My personal opinion. But no, really, I wanted to talk a little bit about it if anybody's curious, if they're thinking about doing it for this next year. So yeah, we're going to dive right in. What is Sock Madness? Sock Madness is an international sock knitting competition that occurs, I think they're on year like 19 or something crazy like that. It's wonderful. It's managed through Ravelry. which if you don't have that, I would recommend you just take a look into Ravelry.com. There is a page if you want to check out it. It's called Sock Madness Forever. That's the group that I'm part of, and they're very active in their threads with updates and things that are going on. So they're wonderful, but it's an international sock knitting competition. One of the things I'll say is don't let the rules of the competition scare you away from trying to do this. They're not as scary as they look. The rules that are written out are quite long. There's several pages. And that's what I think stopped me from doing it for 2 years. And this last year is the first year I said, no, I'm going to try it, see how far I get. And I had such a good time. There's so many amazing community members that are part of this. And yeah, so I'll start from the top. What is it? It's an international sock knitting competition. The way it works is it starts out by doing what's called a qualifying round. So they will send you a pattern. It's the same pattern everyone has to work off of. And when you knit the sock, they'll give you specifics. So make sure you read through all of the rules and the pattern fully before you start. And the rules, I think, are pretty simple. They say that, for this sock, you have to knit certain sizes to try and make it as fair as possible. So most of the time, if there was a small option, I don't think that was available. You weren't able to knit a small. And then they would say other types of requirements. They would say like, you have to do this many rounds for the leg. You have to do this many rounds for the foot. You have to follow it to pattern. And as you're doing that, you have to follow the instructions if there's any other things they tell you to do. And then when you're done, you have to knit the second sock. And so sometimes you're able to knit the exact same sock twice. Sometimes the pattern does call for you to make a left and a right sock. So you just need to follow the instructions. And then they'll give you very detailed instructions on what to do when you're done. So I had to make a Ravelry project page, and then I had to take very specific pictures. And that's how they tell that you're following the pattern as it's intended and all the rules for that round. And so you do that, and then you have to follow up with an email, and there's specific instructions on how to do all of those things. And then they will email you back and say if you've been approved or if you have to go back and maybe change something or take another photo that they need to see, things like that. And you get the chance to then go back and do it. This is a timed activity, and so I could be wrong with some of these dates. It was several months ago because this, I think, started in February and then went in through the next several months. It kind of mirrors March Madness for the basketball fans out there, and this is Sock Madness. And so you do the qualifying round, and the nice part is if you make it through the qualifying round, which I think a significant amount of people did, then you're in the competition. And even if you get knocked out round one, because not everybody makes it round to round, they lower the number of people that are in it, you still get the patterns. And so it does not cost anything to do this. This is completely free to do this. That you can win some prizes, you can participate in other community things, and that's wonderful, but it's very, very nicely set up. The way they know on how to place you is you do have to take like a little Google questionnaire that you would fill out. So you'd fill out the Google questionnaire and you'd submit things like, I have a lot of time to knit, I'm an experienced knitter, or I don't have a lot of time, things like that. And that's how they kind of divide you up onto your teams after the qualifying round. The teams are alphabetically based, so A through Z, and then they do tend to pick a theme every year. And this past year was like international desserts. And the lower you are on the alphabet, closer to the end, I think the higher the skill level your other teammates might have, is the way that I interpreted it. I could be wrong, but that's the way I interpreted it. And in that team, you don't necessarily get to pick who you're with. But you get people from all over the world. I had people from Brazil, people from Canada, people from European countries, other American states. It was really cool experience, and it's very active on the threads in Ravelry for your specific team. So from the qualifying round to getting placed on your team, then you get placed into the different rounds. So I want to show you what I've done. So this was my qualifying round sock. So this is the Hydra Scale socks. So really cool, very fun, fun techniques that I did, and it fits my foot, which I love. The orange here is done with intarsia. The rest of it was done carrying the yarn as I went through, and it kind of forms these like scale looking design pattern here for the qualifying round. So I really did enjoy that. They do encourage you to use not very variegated yarns, or try and keep it really lightly speckled, if not solid, because the point is to see the pattern. You want to see the design and see what you're doing. And I saw the pattern. I'm like, no way can I do this. And you know what? I totally could. And I think a lot of you can too, if you're interested in doing it. Obviously, if you don't like knitting socks, or you don't want to knit more of a design pattern sock, this might not be for you. But I know I had it on my bucket list that at least one time in my life I wanted to try this competition. And I'm going to do it again this year because I really enjoyed last year. And so I don't know if I'll do it every year. You'll see how I feel. But this was the qualifying round for the socks. So then we have round one. Just don't mind me as I do my sock blocker. And the way the rounds work is there's a certain number of open positions for each round. So I think I had something close to like 50 people on my team, and 48 people could make it to round two. So that meant only 2 people could not. And then it was basically the first 48 that have the completed socks and they've been approved make it to the next round. So some of it is a little bit speed based, not a little bit, it just flat out is speed based. Yeah, but I would say don't be intimidated. These round one socks are I Walk the Line by Shu Wu. Oh, and I should have said the qualifying, I probably edited it and put it in the bottom. The qualifying was Hydra Scale Socks by Claire Wyvern. But this is round one, and I love the way these look. I really, really enjoy the way these look. And this one, it's not in anymore, but one of the special instructions is you did have to put a contrasting color line through like every other row so they could make sure you had the correct number here. So they actually went and counted it. So they really do check to make sure that you follow the pattern. But I really enjoyed these socks. Something I would consider making again, actually. I probably wouldn't make the Hydra Scale ones again. Not my style, but I can say I did it, which is great. These I would absolutely consider making again. And the third round socks are the Yitgrain socks by Anna, and I won't even attempt to pronounce the last name. You'll see it on the screen, so don't judge. I do have to say these are my favorite of the socks that I've made, and I'm absolutely going to be making more because I enjoyed it so much. These are just a solid color with cables, and the design is so cool. The left and the right are different, and they match up when you're wearing them, so you can tell which one you're wearing. But I really, really enjoyed the fit. I love how these look on, and you would almost think, because it's kind of hard to see on here, that, oh, can you really tell the pattern? You absolutely can. When you're wearing them, you can see this pattern. It is so cool. It is so fun. Really enjoyed it. Absolutely would be making some of these again. And I made it to round 3. I did choose to not do the round 3 socks. I didn't like the pattern necessarily. It wasn't really me. And at that time, I was just kind of ready to be done with the competition. Because at this point, I think it was at least 6 weeks worth of knitting socks. Yeah, and so I was just kind of done. I was over it, but we'll see how far I get this time. And I got those patterns. They're wonderful. The Ravelry threads are super engaging. They even give you bonus pairs. So if you get done and you want to make another pair of socks before the next round starts, they'll give you patterns to do that. So highly, highly enjoyed it. Highly recommend if you're thinking about it. I'm here to tell you you can do it. Huge fan. I'll be doing it this next year. Yeah, I think that's all I kind of wanted to go through. So on to the next clip. Bye. Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday evening. It is late in the day. I'm continuing on my series of some shorter videos I just kind of wanted to touch base. It's been a very long, productive, peaceful evening day. I am currently drinking some peppermint tea. I hope the outside sounds aren't too loud. It's raining currently here in Wisconsin. But thankfully the weather has broken. It was super hot the last 2 days. Well, super hot for us is 78, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. That's hot. And so I live on the second floor of an apartment that just loves to hold on to their heat. So I'm thankful that the weather's now broken. My balcony door is open, so if you hear some of the rain in the background, enjoy it for the ambiance. Yes, I'm drinking some peppermint tea because it's late at night and I've reached the age where if I have caffeine after a certain point, I can no longer sleep. That's not something they ever told me in health class, but apparently it's true for some of us. Yeah, so I'm just spending a nice evening in crafting, watching my YouTube. Some of you know this, but for those that don't, I've transitioned a little bit away from watching mostly knitting podcasts to enjoying some other YouTube content. I do still watch a lot of knitting podcasts. I'll catch parts of the Grocery Girls. I'm a faithful fan of PJ Knits. I just saw her new episode that came out today. Loved it. It was great. Made me feel like I was sitting with Penny and crafting. I enjoy it. So if you don't follow her, highly recommend it. She's wonderful. She's just good people. But my new obsessions, I have 2 of them. Well, 3. 3 of them. I tend to watch a fair amount of police body cam videos. Specifically, I try and find the Wisconsin ones because I think those are funny, especially when you see people at like Quick Trip, which is a gas station for those of us that have it. I think some locations have Quick Star, or it's just a gas station that's very popular in this state, and so I find that interesting. I like to watch that. And then during my work day, I work from home. I usually have on YouTube Live, and I'll watch live streams of actual courts. So I watch like Judge Simpson. I like watching a lot of different judges. I just find it interesting to have on in the background, especially like Judge Boyd, the judges that have a lot of personality I enjoy. And I just like learning about some of those procedures, and it's interesting to me to watch how some of the courts are run, and I find it interesting, and it's great to have on in the background. And then my third, I've gotten into towing shows. I don't know how this happened, but one of my favorites is Everything Auto. You can watch them on YouTube. I think they're hilarious. The 2 people that run that show, and I love their accents. They have Southern accents. I think they're around the Gatlinburg, Tennessee area, which I've never even thought about ever in my life. And now that I've watched their show, I can't wait to visit one day to check out some of the national parks, some of the attractions. I'll go to the spots where they pick up cars because I think that's fun. They have a spot where people can come by their lot and take pictures and stuff. But to me, I just love their Southern hospitality, and they're so polite with how they handle things, even when people get very worked up, because they take videos of how they pick up cars, and they'll get called for people that are illegally parking or blocking spots, and they take videos of it. It's not staged, so you can actually see where people parked, and yeah, they should be towed. I mean, what do you do when someone's illegally parking or parking in a handicap or parking on a sidewalk? And they're very polite about it. But then you also hear people that call in and they're upset. So that's my level of drama. I don't want it in my life. I just want to watch it on YouTube and listen to some great Southern accents. So that's what I watch when I'm crafting. And I've been doing a fair amount of crafting. I'm sure you'll see a recap. That's my plan, to do a recap of all my whips and FOs. So some of this might be done by the time you see the full video. I've spent a lot of my time today working on my shift along. So this is my current progress. It's a little dark because it's late at night here. But I am really enjoying it. I did flip the colors, and so I think I read it to you last time what the two colors were, so I'm not going to reread the balls of yarn. But this is the Shift Along by Andrea Mowry, and that's the yarn. I keep forgetting where my camera is. So this one very obviously was supposed to be the contrast color, and this one, which is actually like a pale green, is supposed to be the main color. When I looked at the yardage and compared it to Andrea's pattern, it didn't quite match up. So it looked like the contrast color had more yardage in line with the main color of the pattern, and vice versa. There was less yarn for this, but I tried it. I got past the ribbing here. I got past it and just did a couple pattern repeats right here, and you couldn't see the pattern. You couldn't see it at all. And so I actually took my friend Lisa's advice, ripped back down to the brim, and switched my colors around. I left the brim, which is technically supposed to be the main color. I left it as the contrast color since I have so much more yarn of that. But then you can really see the pattern up top here. And when you had reversed it, you couldn't see it nearly as well. You lose it a little bit in the center because this is color changing. This is color changing yarn, and the color got really close to the main color, which you couldn't really tell until you got in it, but I still am enjoying it much more than my first time around at it. And so I'm hoping by the time I record this full video on Saturday or Sunday that this will be done. And it fits. I've tried it on, and I enjoy it. So yes, I'm almost done with my repeats, and I'm about to start my decreases. So this I'm fairly certain will be a finished object. So the next thing I'm going to discuss is the round robin I'm doing with cross stitch. And so if you're part of that group and you don't want to see it, this is your warning to look away. I'm not going to have another warning on when to come back. So give it like 5 minutes, and I won't go over 5 minutes. But this is the round robin I'm doing with several of my friends, and I think it's pretty cool. I haven't actually even opened the new one I've gotten because the concept is you started by buying your own DMC, so your own color, and I'll show that here in a second. And then you pick one of the motifs, you buy your own Aida or your own fabric to start it on, and then I got my edges all prepped so they didn't fray, and then I started the first motif. And then when you're done, you actually take your whole fabric, package it up, and mail it to the next person on the list. They get it, they open it up, and they put their motif right next to yours in their color, whatever color they happen to choose, whatever motif they happen to choose. At least that's what I think the rules are. I'm still not very... I didn't quite read as much as I was supposed to, but I'm pretty sure those are the rules. So, yeah, that's all set to go. So I keep all of my materials in this lovely bag. Look at this. My friend Melissa, who's just amazing, made this for me. I love her so much. She's my friend and my colleague. She's my friend first, so that's why I say that first, and she's my colleague second. Because I didn't start working with her until like a year and a half ago. So this is the front. This is all clear plastic, and look at this rainbow colored zipper. How cool is that? I love everything about it. So this is where I keep all of my little materials that I'll need for this round robin project, which isn't a ton. It's a needle minder, one of those, I can't remember what it's called. One of these where you can kind of pull, you can't even see it's got the little, there you kind of see the little metal to pull the yarn or the DMC through. These are my colors. Have them on this little stitch holder right here. So I just have everything ready to go. I have a little, oh, this is cute. I love these little scissors. I think Dawn maybe have gotten these for me, or I got them at the Makers Meetup. I can't remember which. And then I have this magnetic needle minder. Oh, I think I even got some DMC on it. I am ready to start. Yes, this little, oh, can't find my camera. There's my needle. There's the needle minder, that's a magnet, and there's the needle right on it, so that I attach right to the fabric so I don't lose my needle. Don't ask me where to get some of these things. I'm new. I'm sure you can get them at online or Joann's, Michael's, wherever you get it. And this is DMC 782. So if you're looking for the number, DMC 782. That's all I got. That's all I got for ya. So I have this all set to go. I'm going to get it all prepped. Probably not on video. My friend Vani gave me one of these. They are called the Nurge frames, which I enjoy more than I think the circular frames. You just screw them together. You put the fabric in here and you're ready to go, ready to rock. So that's perfect. And then I have the package. It's not even open, so we're going to open it together and take a look. So as I said, look away so I don't ruin anybody's surprise. I'm very excited to see this. I don't even remember whose it's supposed to be, but I am excited. So you unroll it. This is pretty. You guys. Am I holding it the right way? Yes, I am. Right here. Look at this. Oh, look at the motifs. They're so pretty. So I will add mine right here. And actually, this is the one that I normally do. So I'll pick a new one. I could do the same one because it's in a different color, but I'm okay with branching out into something new. Yeah, it's so pretty. Okay. I don't know if this will be done or not by the time you see this video, but I tend to, as soon as I get this booted up and ready to go, I don't put it down. It's not that many stitches, and I love to work on it, so I'll probably try and refrain from setting it up until I'm done with my hat, because that's what I wanted to finish, and then I'll probably set this up. So it'll either be a whip or an FO by the time you see this video. Yeah, that's my plan. We'll see. The week is almost done. My computer turned on, so there's some weird light right there. The week is almost done. I hope everybody is having a good week. Yeah, I think that's all I have for right now. I hope you all having a great week, and on to the next clip. Bye. Hey y'all, how's your day going? It's Friday, November 1st, 2024. Whew, we made it. It is officially the weekend. It has been some type of week. Let me just tell you, I'm thankful it's Friday. I'm actually getting ready to go out to eat with my cousin Amber. We're going to go to a little Indian place here in Green Bay, and then we might work out or just hang out and gossip and talk. I'm not sure which, but I wanted to do a quick little update. How are things going? What are some things I'm working on throughout the week before we get into the crazy weekend? So, yeah, I hope your week went well. It's been really busy at work, lots of meetings, very involved. I feel like I'm really contributing and helping, and so that's great. It's the fourth quarter, so a lot's happening. Yeah, as far as knitting goes, it's been a very productive week for me. I've been in so many meetings that I always take my knitting with me, and if I'm not actively leading the meeting or speaking during it, I tend to get quite a little bit done. So that's really awesome, and I enjoy it a lot. As far as what I'm doing now, I have just like 5 minutes ago finished my first birthday square for the month of November. So I'm not going to show it here because I'm going to do a recap either at the beginning or the end. I'm not sure which of this video series of all my whips and finished objects. So yeah, we'll see where we're at for the week when that comes along, and so you'll see it there. But one is officially done. I have 2 more to do for the month of November, and then one for the month of January. And so it's hard to believe we've been doing this for several months now, but we're getting there, and I'm loving my squares. I never know how they're going to turn out because I kind of wing it, and I try and get inspiration, and I really, every time I finish a square, I'm like, wow, this turned out really good. So I really enjoy that a lot. So that's done. And now I'm just trying, the reason I say that is I'm trying to decide what to do next. And so I've pulled out a couple different items to talk through. One of the first ones is I was cleaning my desk as one does. And I found this little adventure here. So, little Canadian stitch marker and this teal blue. I don't know how well it shows up. We're losing light. Something fierce. But this is a teal with grays, and there's barely any brioche started, so you're really not missing anything. This is going to be the Old Port hat by Andrea Mowry. It is yarn that I got in Montreal, I believe at Biscott Yarns, with my friends Carol and Amy and Kathy. We all went up there and got an Airbnb. It was wonderful. We did Knit City, Montreal. So I got this yarn there. No idea. I'll try and find a tag. If I do, it'll be down below. If I don't, well, it just happens, right? With that deep stash. So I love it. That was my intention, was to make that. I believe it was because I wanted to practice some more brioche. And I wanted to do some decreases and practice some of those. So that was my intention. I'm probably going to have to rip out. I know, shocker. I've been saying that a lot lately. I don't like it. I'm probably going to have to rip out and get back to where the brioche started just to get in a good flow, which is maybe 3 rows. Not the end of the day. It'll be fine. I really enjoy how this yarn feels. I can't remember the content, but I really enjoy it. It's not actually stretchy, but it feels like it should be stretchy, if that makes any kind of sense. Like I said, I'll try and find the label, but that's what I'm thinking is probably going to be one of my next projects, in addition to the birthday squares. But we will see. You know, the world is my oyster. So we'll see where it goes. The other thing I pulled out, since it has gotten cold here, decently cold, I pulled out one of my blankets. So it is living in this wonderful bag. I should know the name of this, but I don't. My friend Vonnie got it. It's like real, I think it's real leather, or it's fake leather that feels real. It's wonderful. It's so nice. It's actually my bingo bag, and so it has all my bingo stoppers in it, and a yarn project, of course. Who wouldn't? But what I have in here is a blanket, so I'm gonna get going on some of that. But yeah, I just barely starting the blanket here. You can see this is a chevron wavy stitch blanket. The same thing I did for my my oldest nephew, what I did for his baby blanket. I'm inspired by, I think, a tutorial that's done by Tony Lipsy from TL Yarn Crafts. At one point she had done a blog post or something. I don't remember the name. I'm not going to search for it. Y'all can look at TL Yarn Crafts. She's amazing. She does a lot of things. It was a free pattern. I think I modified it, and now I just remember what I do. So this is crochet. This is a crochet project. I think I'm doing it through the back loop, it looks like, but it's going to be a chevron blanket. And it is, I'm pretty sure this is it's 100% acrylic. So I have it in one of my yarn bags here. I know some people say not to keep your yarn in a plastic bag. I don't really care. It hasn't ever been an issue for me, and this is 100% acrylic, so some of those concerns I think more apply to the natural wools. But this is Premier Puzzle. I love it. It is 200 grams, and there's 328 yards or 300 meters in each yarn ball here. 100% acrylic, so it'll be easy to take care of. It's a size 5 bulky. I love the colors that are in there. It's like browns with little specks of teal throughout, so I'm enjoying that a lot. I got this at Hirschner's, which is a yarn shop located near Stevens Point, Wisconsin. We took a day trip, and this is one of the yarns that was on sale. I have like 5 or 6 balls of this. So I want to do, I think, like 30 minutes a day working on it, or like right now I can still technically keep my balcony door open and it chills the whole apartment. And I love having a blanket that's big enough that you can kind of like use it as a blanket and a project because you're still working on it. One of my favorite things. So I think that's what this is destined to be. So I haven't started that yet today, but I dug it out because it's one of the things I'm thinking about doing. And the last thing I'm thinking about doing, I had to write down the pattern, is Boogie Floor Beanie by Allison Rendall. And so I'll put the name down below. But this is for several reasons. I had intended to do this pattern long before. This is, I had some yarn. Here's one of the skeins. I don't have them all put together yet. One of the skeins is this nice midnight blue color. This is Shetland fingering, midnight blue, 100% North American Shetland wool. So I have I have another skein, which it's probably a gold, knowing me and my color sense. So I have to dig that out. So I was going to use this, and then also in this Delaque bag, which I love this Delaque, love it so much. I have all of my Jameson's Shetland Spindrift yarn, which is left over from the Burra cowl that I was doing, that I have done. It's complete. That we were doing as a knit along, like, was that a year ago, 2 years ago? So I have lots of colors and options in there. So I'm going to use this along with my other skein of this. And I am going to make that hat pattern. It looks like some amazing color work. I really liked working on the Burra cowl. I liked the color work with the Shetland yarn. It was wonderful to work with. It felt really good. I enjoyed it. And I think I was like, not to brag, I think I was one of the first people done with the Burra cowl, because I really did enjoy doing it. So I'm excited to make that hat to practice some color work. One of my goals is to do a little bit more color work. Eventually I'd like to get into some Fair Isle techniques. This I don't think this hat is Fair Isle. Pretty sure it's not. But I want to get some more color work practice in. And I thought this times perfectly. I just watched Penny's newest episode this week. And so it is currently Friday. This is in support of her Fiber Friday. And so definitely thinking about that. I don't know if I'll cast on today or not. Probably not, because there's a lot going on and I'm about to go out to eat. But thought it was timely and appropriate, and I'm really enjoying it. So that's a little recap. My week went perfect going into this weekend. I don't have a ton of plans. I might teach some of my downstairs neighbors how to knit or crochet, dealer's choice, some dishcloths, and then I'll go to my Sunday knitting in the morning at Kavarna Coffee House, which is my favorite coffee house on Broadway in downtown Green Bay. I love it. So that's what I've got going on. I hope you all have a really restful weekend. I hope it's good. And this will probably be my last recap before I record for the whole video. So I'll see you all later. Hope you have a great weekend. Bye. Welcome back. I hope you all enjoyed those clips, that adventure throughout the week. It's time to do a little bit of a roundup of, summary. How did my week go? Things like that. I had quite a bit of crafting time this week. It's funny because my friend Amy had messaged me and said, "Are you working? What's happening? How are you getting these things done?" And the funny thing is my work has actually picked up, and there's lots of meetings I'm sitting in. And some meetings I do need to take notes. I need to do that. And some meetings I just kind of need to be present. And I do quite a bit of consulting work and helping folks through a process. Most of the time, though, my input is not for an entire meeting. It's more for just a part of the meeting, and I need to be aware, note stuff down. And so I had quite a bit of time in all of those meetings to get some crafting done, which I appreciate. And it always, it keeps me focused, especially for some of the simpler patterns. Definitely kept me focused throughout the week, and was just really helpful. So we're going to take a look at some of my FOs. One of the first ones, I did finish a washcloth. I think that's going to be my goal, is to do at least one a week to finish up with all of my gift knitting, my Christmas knitting that's going on. And so I want to do at least one a week, and I'll be fine. If I do more than that, that's awesome. I'm going to try not to do less, so I don't, panic at the end and have all of these washcloths to do. For those of you that don't know, I'm knitting washcloths for Christmas gifts. For each family unit, I'm doing a set of 4, and so I need 6 different family units I'm planning right now. So I need to have 24 washcloths. I think I have about 16 or 17, so this will be either 17 or 18 washcloths done. And then I just got some new cotton yarn too. One of my friends had a bit of stash, and she's like, "Do you want it? I'll bring it with me on Sunday." I knit at Kavarna Coffee House on Sunday mornings, and I said, sure. And so she brought some. So I have more than enough to make it through now for the rest of my holiday crafting. This is crocheted. I talked about it last episode. You can go take a look at that, or you can take a look at my tutorials. And I actually did a tutorial video on my favorite crocheted washcloth. And so I love these. I think it looks good. I'm going to add it to, quite frankly, the pile. I have a whole project bag just full of the washcloths right now. So yeah, that is done. That is good to go. And then I have one of my birthday squares. Again, I'm part of a birthday group that sends each other a 12 by 12 fingering weight, 12 inch by 12 inch fingering weight square during their birthday month. And so we're currently in November. I have 3 squares to do, and I finished one, and we're not even a full week in, so I think I'm good. I'm going to start my next one, and I'm going to hope to have it done by the next video, which I'm planning for next Sunday. We'll see how it goes. But I never know how these are going to turn out, and I really like this one. So this is a corner to corner. So I crocheted this with all fingering weight, and I just love the different colors. I love how it goes from a deep purple to a lighter pink, and then from a light gold color to this darker brown with specks of gold in it, so that it kind of goes all together. I had no idea what this was going to be when I started. But it has pieces of my yarn that I loved using. Like this was from my Geo Gradient shawl. This is from my Sock Madness, one of my socks. I think this was also from Sock Madness, and I can't remember what this one was from. But definitely pieces of me, of my yarn, and I hope whoever I give it to, they love it. So, because there's 2 people in November that said they don't care, any yarn, anything goes, and so this will be going to one of them. So yep, one of my birthday squares is done, ready to go. I have not yet cast on the second one. I have an idea of what I want to do. I'm going to do the next one knit, and I think I want to try and do like a diamond shape, either with mosaic knitting or color work. I want to try and make it mosaic knitting. So we'll see how that goes. Haven't cast it on quite yet. That might take a little bit longer. I think I'm getting pretty quick with the corner to corner squares. But yeah, I'm designing these squares all in my head as I go, and so just kind of doing them. So that is going to be in the works for next week, is the next square. The next 2 things, I have 2 hats that were finished. And so we have this hat. This is the Shift Along by Andrea Mowry. The yarn is the Casey yarn from Joann's. I got the Cloud Paca is that gray color that's in there, and the golds and the browns is Superwash Merino Luxe. The sizing, I don't necessarily agree with the sizing on the label for this yarn, but that meant I was trying to adjust my stitch count. I cast it on at first. It was way too small, so I increased the size of the number of stitches for my brim, and then I did a decrease round before I started the actual pattern. I think I decreased too much. And so, like, technically this fits. If I like fold it over, I can wear it as like a skin type cap, but it is tight. It does fit, but it is really, really tight. I'll probably end up giving this to my godson, or somebody else that has a smaller head than me, because it just doesn't feel very good. It's nice and warm because of the fiber. But yeah, it was lovely to make. I loved the yarn. The yarn was a little splitty, so be aware. I used Chowgu needles in a magic loop to do this, and the Chowgu, I like it because they're sharp enough that I think it helps me not split the yarn when I'm focused, but they're not so sharp that I'm stabbing my fingers. So that was the first one, and then I did finish my second one. Yes. And this is that kit that I had from the New Jersey Wool Walk that I had gotten, and so I had redone this as well. I had ripped it out and switched my main color and my contrast color. I have like 4 grams left of the pale blue, so I'm glad I did the ribbing in a different color, otherwise I would not have had enough yarn. And I did a couple more repeats than the pattern called for because I didn't want to have it too short, and I wanted to be able to wear it a couple different ways. You can really tell the pattern up here. I love it. So again, this is the Shift Along by Andrea Mowry. And if I wear it like this, I can wear it like a beanie where it covers my ears, but you can still see some of my hair, and it goes back in the side here. So definitely can wear it like a beanie. I enjoy that look, or I can fold it up. It is Wisconsin. We get very cold winters, so it can be double layer for my ears. And I like it because even when I fold it up, you still see the nice pattern section up top here. So I really enjoy it. I highly recommend. Yeah, it was a fun pattern. It wasn't too complicated. I enjoyed it. I recommend. If you haven't done it, or if you're looking for a hat pattern with some nice yarn, go for it. I say go for it. Really fun hat. So those are all of my finished objects for the week. I have a couple different whips. I did get my round robin crochet, so I'll just show you where I'm at. It's not very I've barely started. So it's all set. I'm starting my frame for my motif. I have not picked out my motif. This is in the bag that Melissa made me, and it's with the frame that Bonnie gifted me. Love it so much. But yeah, I'm just starting out. Haven't picked my motif. I don't know if I'll work on this today or tomorrow, but it's kind of nice that I have an option to switch my craft when I'm getting a little tired of knitting, because I am working on a knitting project that I'll need to take breaks from. And so this is perfect. Absolutely perfect for that. So that's one of my current whips. Like I said, I haven't started the new birthday square yet, so that's not on the needles. But then I do have in my bearded pearl bag, I don't think Caleb and Justin are making these anymore, but I love it so much. It's just like this canvasy, really, I love the fabric, and then I like the print as well, different woodland animals. Feels very appropriate for the time of year we're getting into. I love it a lot. I am working on a hat. This is the Old Port hat. I think I talked about it. I've made some progress, and I am working on brioche. So yeah, definitely made quite a bit of progress here. I do think I'm going to need to go and watch some videos on how to pick up if you drop a stitch in brioche, because that has absolutely already happened. It's already happened. I kind of picked it up the best I could. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm going to keep going. The stitch count is still right. It doesn't look perfect, but I'm not going to go back at this point. I'm going to watch some videos and learn a technique, and if it happens again, I might try and fix it the next time. But yeah, I'm not going to drop down. It's not even that many rows. It's just I don't want to. I don't want to. If those of you that know me know I hate going back to pick up to frog my work. I don't like it. And I've already frogged this once because I couldn't remember where I was at. So I went back just to the very beginning here and I restarted the entire brioche, which was good. I watched Andrea Maury's videos on how to do two-color brioche. I do continental knitting most of the time, so I watched both the English and the continental instructional videos that she has, which are not specific to this hat, but it's more the technique. And they were very helpful. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, so that's my progress so far. I have about another inch to do on brioche, and then I get to the next part of the pattern, which I think might be some decreases. But yeah, this is the Old Port hat by Andrea Maury. It's yarn that I got in Montreal. In fact, I have a little, oh yes, that's my beginning of round marker. I love that maple leaf right there. It's really squishy. I enjoy the yarn. Again, it's kind of the same thing as that KC yarn. I think this is twisted, but it's very, very loose twist. And so it does kind of split a little bit. So when I'm working on my brioche, I have to be careful that I'm not splitting the yarn. But yeah, I think I'm getting much more comfortable. And I've always wanted to do more brioche. So this is me starting some of that. One of the things I want to do is the Brioche Adventure cowl, not the Brioche Adventure shawl by Jonathan Tallow. Using minis that I got at the New Jersey Wool Walk this past year. So I'll talk about that more next episode. I'll probably show all of those minis. I have them all set to go. I don't know if I'll have cast it on by then or not, but it is one of my goals is to do that shawl. So, yep, this is my other whip that I'm currently working on. And that's what I've got. So it's been a busy week. It's been a great week. thank you all for coming back. If you're new, thank you for checking me out. I appreciate that. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. I hope the time change. I don't know if we're in daylight savings right now for my area, so it just went back last night. That'll be a bit of an adjustment. I appreciate waking up and it being lighter earlier in the morning working from home. It's just going to be hard getting used to that dark at night. So good and bad with it. I take it for what it is, and I move on. And it is also going to be election week this upcoming week. And so I hope everybody stays safe. I know sometimes there's lots of emotions, lots of things happen. I hope you all can take care of yourselves, prioritize yourself. No matter what your opinions are, do what you need to do to take care of yourself, whether that's watching everything that's happening or turning off and walking away. You know yourself best. So I hope everybody has a good week. And hopefully I'll see you next week. That's my goal. So we'll see how this editing goes. Have a great week. Bye, everyone.